There's a hidden trap being set for Ripple inside the US Congress, and a compliance deadline is coming up way faster than you think.
And for all of you in the US, you need to listen very closely. If you ignore this one regulatory proposal making the rounds in DC, you will miss the biggest catalyst for the next Ripple bull run. And no, this isn't just random speculation. This is about a very real regulatory clock that has already started ticking.
You know, for years, we've all heard the same old story. The fear that Ripple is going to dump its massive supply and crash XRP to zero. But what if I told you that entire fear is a lie? A story engineered to keep you, the retail investor, scared and on the sidelines while the big institutions quietly get into position.
In the next few minutes, I'm going to pull back the curtain on Ripple's secret escape hatch from this government trap. And even better, I'm going to show you the hard evidence that institutions are already piling in to take advantage of this exact situation.
Okay, so what is this trap? It's a concept tucked inside a future bill, let's call it the Digital Assets Market Clarity Act of 2025. And buried inside is a clause that could act as a kill switch for a project like Ripple.
The idea itself sounds simple, but the consequences are huge. For an asset like XRP to finally be labeled a commodity and get the SEC off its back for good, one key proposal says that no single entity, no company and its affiliates can own more than 20% of the total supply. That number is everything.
20%. Burn that number into your brain. That's the line in the sand that Congress is looking at. It's their test for decentralization. If you're over it, you fail. You stay a security. But if you're under it, you're free.
And this brings us right to Ripple's gigantic problem. See, they aren't just a little bit over the line, they are miles away from being able to comply with this potential rule.
Just look at this chart. It lays out the problem perfectly. See that massive 41% slice? That's what Ripple still controls, mostly locked up in their escrow accounts. That's more than double the 20% limit we're talking about. It's a huge compliance gap.
Now let's put that percentage into a number you can really feel. To get under that 20% wire, Ripple would have to get rid of over 14 billion XRP. Can you imagine the price crash if they just dumped that on the open market? It'd be absolute chaos.
But here's the thing. Ripple is playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. They have a brilliant escape hatch, a genius legal and financial play that lets them comply with the law without cratering the price. Let me break it down.
This is their four-step masterstroke. Step 1, you have the trap. You got to get rid of 14 billion tokens. Step 2, you avoid the bait. You absolutely do not dump it on retail. Now step 3, here's the escape hatch. Instead of selling the XRP, Ripple sells the rights to get that XRP in the future. And the payoff? Boom. Ripple is compliant overnight, and that huge supply gets locked up by institutions with a long-term vision.
And don't just take my word for it. This isn't some wild theory. This strategy has been hinted at by Ripple's own CTO, David Schwartz. They don't sell the asset today, they sell a contract for the future delivery of the asset. Legally, ownership is transferred, and the 20% problem just vanishes.
So you're probably thinking, okay, that's a neat plan for some time down the road. No, this isn't the future plan. The institutional floodgate is already creaking open. The buyers for these future rights contracts, they're lining up as we speak. You want proof of institutional hunger? The new 21 shares XRP ETP has already swallowed a huge amount of supply. This is a giant neon sign telling us that the big money isn't waiting for a green light from Congress. They are getting their position now.
And just look at the sheer scale of what they're building. Ripple wants their stablecoin, RLUSD, to be a top 5 player in the world. Well, you don't grow from $1.3 billion to over $4.6 billion with retail money. That kind of growth is built for one thing: massive institutional adoption.
And the evidence is everywhere you look. Gemini is plugging RLUSD into the XRP ledger. They've got full regulatory approval in Abu Dhabi, a massive financial hub. They're buying up companies to get direct access to Fortune 500 treasuries. They're partnering with prime brokers like Hidden Road. Every one of these moves weaves them deeper into the fabric of global finance.
So here's the bottom line. The institutions are already moving in. There's a regulatory clock ticking in the background. And the escape plan is sitting there in plain sight for anyone who's actually paying attention. This window of opportunity is closing, and it's closing fast.
This is not a story you can afford to miss updates on. This is your final warning. Go below, right now, subscribe to Crypto Global News, and you absolutely have to hit that bell for all notifications. Seriously, do it now. And if you want this kind of unfiltered analysis before it hits the public, you have to be in my private Telegram. Pull out your phone, scan the QR code right here on the screen, or use the link down in the description. It's where I post all of this stuff first.
So, the only question left is the most important one. What are the critical dates you need to be watching as this long moves through Congress? I've already mapped out the entire timeline. To see it, you need to click the explainer on the card that just appeared on your screen. Click it right now.
Stay ahead in the crypto market. Subscribe now for the latest global news and updates.